I've come to believe that God owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, and he's our provider. We've experienced the provision of God. I don't know if you've ever been in a sermon where you didn't really know how the story related to you, but I was in one. Susan and I were in Dallas, Texas, where Gateway Church, our church, Pastor Robert Morris is speaking. He tells the story from Matthew 17 where Peter's there and they need money to pay taxes. So Jesus says, go fishing. The first fish you catch, it'll have a valuable coin in its mouth. Use the coin, pay your taxes. It's pretty simple, right? So go fishing, catch fish, retrieve coin, pay taxes. So we go home and we have a stack of bills like this. It's a really tight time in our life. And Susan and I are looking at each other talking about this story, kind of going, how does this apply to us? I actually thought about going fishing. There was a lake down the street. So we prayed for provision. And so we just literally just prayed right there, Lord, we don't know what this means, but we just pray that you'd provide. And so 2 days later, I get a text from this old colleague of mine. His name was Robert too, not Pastor Robert. He didn't go to our church. So Robert wants to have lunch. So Robert and I had lunch all the time. We went to lunch. We're getting ready to pay the check. And Robert says, Dean, how are you doing financially? Which he had never asked me before. I said, well, it's a little tight. We're making it. And as I finished my sentence, he reaches down deep into his pocket and he has this paper with rubber bands around it, and he starts unraveling it, and he pulls out 2 gold coins, puts them on the table, which I had never seen a gold coin before. He says, Dean, if I gave you these, would you know what to do with them? I said, no. So he calls his coin guy right there and finds out what they're worth, and he writes a check for that amount, which exactly paid our bills. Now, I don't want to say I'm more special than Peter, but they only got 1 coin.